Like when I'm running a service business, I'm not trying to make $100 a day. I'm not trying to make a couple $100 a day. I'm trying to make thousands a day. I'm trying to charge high ticket prices. Okay. I'm trying to do that alongside of a lower skill, right? Now that's hard to find. It's harder to find a high ticket price point with low skill. But in service businesses, you have the ability to do that. How you do it, how you get high ticket from a low skill comes from proper branding and positioning of your company. Let's take something that would be like relative, like the lowest skill. Anybody could start a demo company, right? So remodelers, general contractors, they sell a basement remodel. So they need somebody to come in there. Normally they might do it themselves or something like that, and they'll demo the existing space. Well, if I wanted to be a demo company, I would come in and I would say, all right, what are the things that a contractor really could use from a demo company? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I demo it in such a way when the contractor comes in behind me, it looks like the place has not only been completely demoed, but also completely cleaned. I don't want there to be cobwebs. I don't want there to be little nails in the studs. I don't want any of that. So I'm going to brand my company as the demo company that leaves you with a clean home feeling, something like that. So then I can say I am the highest end of all individual companies that offer demo services. If that's the case, then I'm going to be the demo company that's trusted in the highest end homes. Therefore, I'm then going to be the one that's being subcontracted to by the highest end contractors. And then I'm going to be able to charge the most money from my low skill, right? Well, low skill allows you to do a couple things. One, you can start your business and start making money super, super early, right? You don't have to do 3 years of an apprenticeship and learn all these stuff and figure out what the codes are or whatever, right? You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is basically start working, try to be as professional as possible within that individual niche skill, and then brand yourself well. So give yourself a name that tells the people what you do. People will all the time start a company, give it a name, and the name doesn't even tell your local market what you do. It's like you're wasting your startup potential, right? Like I would be like Mr. Clean Demo, or I guess probably couldn't use Mr. Clean, but clean home demo service. Like that's what I would do, and then I would brand myself as like a demo so good it leaves your house clean, and then I call all the contractors, but that's how I would brand it. I'm trying to get high ticket. I'm trying to get the most expensive people. I'm trying to always think. So let's do another one. Let's say we're talking about you have a grass cutting company. You mow lawns, right? And you probably have maybe like a $40 to $60 minimum per yard or something like that. Well, I would try to raise that. I would say, I'm no longer going to just offer a single cut service. All of my cuts are going to be cuts, weed eating, edging. So now those are 3 services that they get bare minimum. I'm then going to offer our premium package. Our premium package is going to be some sort of grass fertilization system that every time we're there, after we get done, we're going to spread the yard. We're going to spray the yard with something. I don't know the industry, but I would add that on. I would tap that on. I would make sure that at the start of spring, I am sending out messages talking about that we do light landscaping. So we do mulch. We do, we'll plant smaller shrubs, smaller flowers, things of that nature. And you're adding on to your tickets. You're making your tickets higher right there. In the fall, I would say, hey, we're doing roof cleanings with your cuts. So like as we cut, we'll add on a roof cleaning, we'll add on a gutter cleaning, we'll add on something like this. I'm trying to develop a package for my company so that it's not so much okay, so today we have 2 cuts and we have a cut and a weed eat, and then we have a cut and a power wash. Like, I would be like, I think even a company could be like, we do lawns, we do weed eating, we do edging, and then we do pressure washing. We pressure wash all of the concrete surfaces or something like that. And just put that together as a package. Put that together as a package once a month. This is one of the packages we do. So 3 weeks a month, we just come and cut. But once a month, part of the package deal is you get this, and that's why we charge this much. So raising your ticket price, raising your service, branding yourself as branding yourself as only having a package means that you're going to get more customers that apply for that package, and hopefully you fill your schedule with only the customers that are making you the most money, right? So you got to start thinking about these lower skill services as, how can I make it high ticket? Now, sometimes these services just are high ticket in themselves, right? Rubber roof coatings, epoxy companies, general remodelers that are doing bathrooms, basement, kitchen remodeling, concrete installers. Like, all of those are high ticket, in my opinion, almost right away. Now, there are people that do cheap work, and you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be a company that does the highest end work, that brands yourself as the highest end. Stay small. Stay as a single member LLC. That's fine. You don't have to become a huge company to work with those individuals. I have always worked with the toppest end of the market. My very first remodel project that I ever took on was $33,000. That was my starting point. I didn't start off with a $300 fan replacement or working on a doorknob handyman service. I went straight into the professional end of the remodeling space. Why? Because I knew I needed to make a bunch of money every single project. I had lower overhead because I didn't have the office. I wasn't paying a salesperson. I was the salesperson. If I could be a great salesperson, get the most money, perform the work, do the work, I was making the most money per project of anyone. Now, yeah, some people might say, well, that's not a good way to scale. Well, you know what? It's really hard to find good labor right now. It's really hard to do these other things. But I've been able to make $150,000, $300,000, $800,000 in my epoxy business as a single member LLC. I've been able to do that by myself, optimizing around myself. And the starting point is picking a service business that is not so difficult that you can't reach the top professionalism in your local market very quickly. Whenever I started my first niche epoxy only business, it took me 2 months before I sold my first 6-figure project. We were brand new in the area. Nobody had any clue we existed at all. We came in, there was other competitors, we branded ourselves better than everybody else right from the very beginning, and we started getting the commercial calls. We started getting the highest end residential customers calling us. It's because the goal was to work for them. The goal was not to just get as many projects as possible. The goal was literally like, I want to build a company that speaks to the people that have the most money. I want to work for them more days than not, so that my daily cost per day, cost per project is higher and higher and higher. And then I'm making more money every day, so that my bank account at the end of the year has made the most money that I could possibly make out of it with just me as a single member. And look, I have way less headaches to deal with. I have way less employees to deal with. I don't have all these issues. I have a wife, I have kids, wife stays at home. I have the shop that I have here where I can just come and hang out, shoot content and do things. I've been able to build a pretty great life just off of single member LLC service businesses. Now, eventually you get to the point where you do start scaling and they are no longer single member. But to start out, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars by yourself, optimizing around yourself. You need to get a mentor. I did it because I had a mentor. If I just would have started off by myself, yeah, I wouldn't have. But with the internet today, everybody can have a mentor. Everybody can have 20 mentors. It's not very difficult. It's not really that difficult. Starting a service business, I think, is the most guaranteed way to be profitable. I don't know that I can't say you're going to go make $1 million, but I can tell you this. There's all kinds of people that start trading. And they say, I got $5,000 and it goes to zero. There's all kinds of people that start e-commerce businesses with $5,000 and it goes to zero. I'm telling you, you could start an epoxy remodeling landscaping, pressure washing, rubber roof coating, tile install, floor install, demo. You could start all kinds of service businesses, put $5,000 into it between the initial, whatever initial tools you need and your brand and a little tiny bit of marketing. And there's no way you're going to zero, man. Only way you go to zero is if you're incompetent. Only way you go to zero is if you don't show up. Only way you go to zero is if you don't call the people that actually want the service. But if you do those things, get up every day, work on yourself, become a better version of yourself, become a better entrepreneur. A service business is a almost guaranteed way to make money. People need things done. They're unwilling to do it themselves. They're going to find someone to do it. If you can say, hey, I'm a trustworthy professional individual and here's my cost, and you can give that to enough people, then a percentage of them are going to say yes, do good work, make sure you're making money, collect the check, put it in the bank, and you actually are making money. Like it's not very difficult. It's not, I didn't want to do it. I understand. It would be way cooler to just be an influencer. It would be way cooler to just play video games and stream that and make money. It would be way cooler to just build like a sick clothing brand and sell that all over the place. It might even be cooler to buy Kleenex and resell it on Amazon. I don't know. But I'll tell you this much. The satisfaction you get from completing a job for someone, the satisfaction you get from them wanting something done, not being able to do it themselves, having you do it, the appreciation they have, that's an amazing feeling. Being able to get up every day and hold yourself accountable, discipline, build your business to become better and better, build yourself to become a better version of who you are. That's a great feeling. That's a great process to go through. And working with your hands, building something from the ground up, building something from scratch. In today's world is not that hard. Okay, you have to do the things, but it's still not that difficult. What's difficult is just finding the people that are disciplined enough to do it every day. What's difficult is finding the people that if you mess up, are you just going to quit or are you going to keep going? Are you just going to give up or are you going to keep going because you know, hey, if I don't make that mistake again, if I never make that mistake again, then that means I'm going to make money on this project. If I never do that again, I'm going to make this. If I communicate with the customer a little bit better, then by the end of it, they're going to be a little bit happier than me. Man, what you can learn in a service business, the skills that you can get from running and having a service business, man, I am in conversations. I am in rooms with people that run tech companies now. I'm in rooms with people that have businesses in beauty and fashion. And it's fun. It's super awesome to be there. And I got there from a service business. I got there from the skills I developed, the personal skills I developed from my service business, from sales, marketing, branding, customer relations, processes, standard operating procedures. All of those things now allow me to go into rooms with people that have made more money than me. And then they're looking at me and listening to what I have to say. Why? Because I actually did the thing. Like I didn't just read and implement and outsource. I did it myself so I can intimately articulate, here's what we need to happen. Here's where we're going wrong. Here's what I would have done. You know, I remember one time, this is how the relationship went with this one customer. So with your customers, I would say, set it up like this, so that you make sure that they're in good standing by the end of the project or by the time they get the product. Or how can we make sure that we get product reviews? Well, here's how we got our service reviews. Here's how we can do this for our product reviews, right? Like all of that came just from a service business, from a single member, relying on myself, putting the pressure on myself, optimizing around myself, becoming a better version of myself, and building a service business. So again, highly encourage you, build a service business. You will make money. I don't care what this service business is. If you start a service business and you tell a bunch of people that you have this service, you are going to make money. I'm not telling you have to do it for the rest of your life. I'm just saying if you're not making the money you want to make, you want to feel more fulfilled in your life, you can start a service business. It doesn't cost very much money. You can do it very quickly, and you can become relatively one of the leaders in your space, in your local community within a couple months. Okay, and if that is life-changing for you, then you should pursue it. You should go and do those things. You should do the thing that you're hearing the guy, right, me, talk about, which is go and pick out a low skill service, something that you can do right now, something you could do in a week if you spent time on the internet learning how to do it. Say, I'm not going to be the cheapest guy. I'm not even going to start as the cheapest guy. I'm going to try and be a high ticket company. I'm going to brand myself well. I'm going to pick a good name. I'm going to speak to my local market and tell them exactly what it is that I do. And if you do those two things, you are going to make money.